Bow. I think the sun is setting here. I think I'll get less bright. Not that it matters. But,
You're enlightened.
yay. Achievement unlocked.
Just be on the right.
Yeah, well, let's get settled and psyched for a nice adventure on the inner planes of ourselves, and also the inner planes of the earth. Yay. Any questions that you have or intentions that you're holding, you can just welcome them into your heart space, and they'll become part of your journey. And they may be answered or honored along the way. Any parts of yourself that are drifting in other times and places, other dimensions, I invite you to gather them within yourself, gather them into your heart before we get started, so that you can have a richer experience. And I warmly invite us all to qualify this entire experience with unconditional love for the smoothest possible integration within all layers of our beings. Any forms of protection that we might need, I call upon on behalf of the group, and you can call on them individually if you like, that we may enjoy divine protection during our journey. And anything that might be harmful or confusing doesn't need to touch us. We welcome only that which serves our highest growth and allows us to walk in the greatest possible light. Other things may come up, but they simply arise and pass away. So let's settle into the confidence of our divine protection and ground in the heart's reality. Let's also connect consciously our individual energies to the group energy, so that we create a vehicle together. And perhaps we can take another moment to reflect on and appreciate the unity consciousness that the Anasazi continue to hold. Maybe it'll inspire us to greater unity consciousness. And right now in the group, I mainly just mean creating a vehicle together so that we can travel together. It can look like anything you want it to look like. It can be a convincing, realistic spaceship, or it can be something totally nonsensical, or anything in between. And I'm just going to call on some of the same guides that the Anasazi called on when they made this journey to move inside the earth. The same guides are trans-dimensional beings. They're just as available for us as they were for them. so they can help us make the same journey to meet our ancient friends. And you can see the guides however you want to see them. Um, a number of southwestern tribes speak about the ant people. These are beings that kind of look like giant ants and they live inside the earth. And they often serve as guides and mediators. It doesn't have to look like that particular thing, but I wanted to name that. There are also a variety of beings who move between dimensional levels and help people do this sort of travel. So we're taking our group just for a little while along the same pathways that the Anasazi used about 700 years ago, not too long ago. I'm going to mute people because there's a lot of background noise. I'll unmute at the end. So we can relax into the experience and intend that the group make this journey together. Gathering our energies from where we sit on different parts of the planet. Coming to the places where the Anasazi live. And to me, it looks like we're suspended in a bubble above the Sonoran Desert. But again, it can look like something different to you, and you can still be part of the same experience. And down we go. If you see things the way I do, you might experience some of the Anasazi as having a bluish tone. I usually see them as bluish. Sometimes they look like other Native American people. Sometimes they look very different. I'm experiencing us moving through the layers of rock in this area of what is now Arizona for me. We might be in slightly different locations too, but our energy is going to be on the same frequency. Moving through the layers of rock. starting to cross the water table. We're safe in our bubble or in whatever we're in. Moving still lower. After moving through a lot of solid material, rock and earth, we come out into a clearing. We're just a little ways down, I'd say 11,000 feet or so down. So we're not deep, deep, deep. We come out into a clearing. And our guides and their guides are interacting, and some of them are merging together. I guess they can split into different avatars. And again, these are not necessarily fully ascended beings, so let's continue to experience and project unconditional love and vibrations of trust and understanding. It's not automatically done for us in this case. Just resting in our divine truth and communicating our desire to learn and to share. And our bubble is starting to settle on the floor of this space. To me, it looks like we just plopped into a random place in a village. Um, there are kids running around, people doing everyday things, working, washing, whatever they're doing. Again, trust your own experience and your own perception. Go with whatever you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing. I'm just going to describe my own perspective. The light is pretty dim for me, but overall there's a kind of peaceful vibe around the village. And there's a little delegation coming out to meet us. Some of the kids are staring at us naturally. I'll make some introductions. Some of us have life streams that overlap with theirs. So if that feels true for you, feel free to activate those past parts of yourself, those other parts of yourself, in addition to being here with your present self. I'm speaking with some of the Anasazi beings about the reunification of humanity, which is the basic reason that I have for being here. And the gist of it is that it's time for healing a lot of old wounds for a lot of different groups around the planet. Time for us to come together in harmony. If you resonate with my intention, you can also broadcast that intention and experience it becoming manifest. I'm being told that this collective identity is very important to them, and it's part of why they chose their path. They want a path that's very distinct from others. And in many ways, this has helped them preserve their integrity in a way that can be difficult for us to relate to. But it has its own merits, its own necessity. Feel free to have your own interactions, of course. If you still have questions or intentions, you can come back to those and see if answers or correspondences are there for you. There's a little exchange of gifts happening for me. And I'm also getting a very strong message about the empowerment of the divine masculine and how they're illustrating an aspect of that empowerment of the divine masculine. This kind of extreme version of independence. So that's a vibration or a lesson that I'm going to take back with me. You don't have to doubt what you're receiving, whatever it is, even if it seems far-fetched or whatever. There'll be a reason for it. If you're like me, you might find your body-mind starting to acclimate more. I find that my heart is adjusting to a fourth dimensional frequency the longer that I stay here. We're all kind of doing our own thing. Some of the older children came up to me and wanted to show me something, so I'm wandering off a little bit. But I'm still here if anybody needs anything. And I'm getting some nice lessons relating to my inner child, my inner boy specifically. But I think that's just for me. So we're all going to be having different lessons. Feel free to wander off if something calls to you. Now I'm sitting by the banks of a very nice stream. They have water sources, just like we have on the surface. Some of the kids have never seen somebody from the surface, so it's an exciting moment. Again, don't feel obligated to be around kids or something just because that's what I'm doing. Go wherever you're called to go. And something that happens for me when I go to fourth dimensional space, which might be worth mentioning, is I often have a sensation of having a mirrored heart or a heart on the right side of my chest. Um, and the longer I stay in this kind of space, the more that feels physical. And I can feel us starting to get drawn back a little bit. So, whatever interactions you're having, experiences you're having, feel free to start to wrap up. I'm I'm personally petting this little alligator creature by the stream, and it's very pleasant. For now, we can say goodbye to our new friends and start to gather back together in our bubble of safety, unconditional love, easy travel. So set whatever boundaries you feel you want to set, whatever aspects of yourself wish to come back, allow them to start integrating with you. If you find yourself in a more individual bubble instead of the group bubble, that's also fine for now. Just feel yourself getting a little bit lighter, starting to come up and come out. Feeling completely safe, unconditionally loved, totally protected, and with appreciation for all aspects of this experience. We collect our astral selves. We let our astral body return to us, come back to the etheric level, integrating everything we've experienced for the best possible outcomes for ourselves and for the inner earth beings and for all beings. You might find yourself feeling like you're coming out of a dream. If you like, you can set an intention that you remember what you wish to remember about what happened in the dream. Coming back from our astral bodies into the etheric body, coming in from the etheric layers to the mental layers, the emotional and physical layers. Just drawing everything into your heart. Anything that's not meant to be drawn in will be released naturally and with ease. And the rest you can draw in. Feel yourself coming back to your physical, accustomed physical experience. Our group bubble starts to dissipate, and we come back to our individual spheres. Again, anything that is for your highest good, you can allow it to be integrated into your being. Anything that's not, you can let go of. You also might find yourself in two places at once for a while. That's normal for the sort of thing that we're doing. So you don't have to rush yourself back. You can let yourself just have that experience, the bilocation experience. Whenever you're ready, if you're still way out there, you can come back to your senses. Do a bit of wiggling